24 minutes or so of real time, maybe 20 minutes of real time to dig approximately 12, I think it's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fence posts. So pretty quick digging with this case TL100 and the Jenkins iron and steel mini skid steer auger. So, well, I guess I'm upside down here. Let's see. It's a little easier to read that right there. It's a 20 max gallon per minute flow on this bad boy. But if you watch the video of the augering, it rolls through these things pretty quick. This is pretty easy digging soil though. There's some roots in there, some random concrete and debris. That one over there on the property edge, property line, which is actually outside the street, has some gravel and rock and stuff like that down in those holes. So with the clamshells, and we'll dig them on out before we set our posts. I gotta go get the material now. But again, that's about 20 minutes, about 2 minutes per hole, including travel time between each hole. And me getting reacquainted with running the auger because it's been a few weeks. I always forget when I first start running it that it's set up to where, at least on my machine, backwards makes it go forwards and forwards makes it go backwards. So I don't know, maybe that's a safety mechanism to keep you from auto locking forward on, but that's how my machine is. But good deep holes here, no problems getting past the frost line way down there. So this will be a really solid fence when we're done. Yeah, I mean, this is one of its primary jobs. This coupler right here leaks. I need to get it replaced. I've got one in the truck, so I just need to replace that one. Getting there, get my machine all dirty. I'm wasting some very expensive hydraulic fluid. It's one of the knocks on this machine. I just got this thing repaired, but it runs this Panelin HLP synthetic 46. A 5-gallon bucket of that is about $500. It's basically $100 a gallon, synthetic biodegradable hydraulic oil. So it's kind of a knock. That's like the only option available, and it's a basically special order. If you need it, you got to go to Case and get it. Otherwise, you got to wait for it to get here from who knows where. So a little bit of slop and play I'm noticing with this attachment that I don't remember there being attached to the plate. I don't know if that plate I'm looking at it, did it get bent? I don't know. It'd be awfully strong steel if that thing got bent, but it seems like there's just a little bit of slop in play that I've not noticed before. A little bit bothersome, but I even noticed a little bit more slop than I remember there being even in the regular bucket. But we graded this down. It was a swell basically carried on into the yard, so we graded that down. We're taking the dirt and the old fence and some other random junk out to the dump here in a bit. So yeah, making progress. But that's a little sample of how the TL100 paired with the Jenkins iron and steel mini auger drive can dig some holes. Pretty quick action. I think the best I've done is 35 or so holes in an hour. So, you know, but yeah, it was about 12 holes in 24 minutes, and those, I don't know, camera never does justice, but that's a pretty steep little embankment. Maybe if you watch the video of me going up and over it both directions, you'll see how tippy the machine gets going over it. But yeah, working on a fence.